guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Lauren and this is Haley, and today we're going to talk to you a little bit on why we both want to give minimalism a try. We have like 3 big reasons, and in those reasons
there's like subcategories.
Yeah.
There's like a main point and then like sub points underneath it, I guess. Just in the beginning stages of minimalism and kind of documenting some of it as we go. You know, that's not all that our channel's about. We're going to post various things that have to deal with being a caretaker of the home. And yeah, just managing the stuff in your home is definitely a big aspect of being a caretaker of the home.
One of the first ones is whenever you have less things, there's less stuff to manage. Having less stuff means there's less stuff to put away, there's less stuff to have to organize all the time, and it definitely just, I've noticed in getting rid of things, by no means am I a minimalist at this point, but by getting rid of excessive things, I'm less stressed and I have less anxiety when I like walk through my house or like open drawers or cabinets and there's not like super like a ton of things in there. It kind of like calms me.
Yeah, that was probably one of the biggest things for me too, is just less stuff to manage. You know, it just overall, it makes keeping your house up a little bit easier. All the things that you have to tend to on a daily basis, they just can't pile up like they would when you have excessive items.
That's what I was going to say too, like being not necessarily like the leader of your home, but like the one who takes care of like laundry and cooking and
right,
like things of that nature, like having to do with the majority of the things probably in the home.
Right.
It definitely helps to have less because you're already managing a lot throughout the day.
Yeah.
So.
And I know for me, like clutter, if I walk into like, say my kitchen, like everybody has like that catch-all space in their house, you know? So for me, it tends to be the kitchen island at our new house and our old house. I don't know why. And when I walk in there, I immediately feel like overwhelmed. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is such a big mess. Like I have to get this cleaned up. Clutter just kind of increases your stress level because you automatically feel like there's like this long list of things that you need to do because you're surrounded by all this clutter. Whereas a space that has less in it or that's easier to tidy up, you don't feel as stressed by it because you walk in and it's not just like all this stuff surrounding you, like do something with me, take care of me. You know, just as you go through the process, you kind of notice like different layers of it. So when you first think about minimalism, you're like, oh, less stuff to manage, you know, but there's all these other what's the word?
Like aspects of it.
Yeah, all these.
It's like not just getting, for me, I think it's not just getting rid of the things you have, like appreciating the things that you've kept and being more mindful of things that you bring into your home in the future.
It encourages contentment is kind of what we would say. So especially, I think about my kids a lot. You know, my kids, they get a lot of stuff, like not necessarily just from me, but when grandparents come over, I'll be honest, like pretty much every time one of their grandparents come over, they bring them a little something. I feel like sometimes whenever they have like this constant motion of like receiving stuff, they're always just getting. I feel like it just does. It tends to make you not appreciate getting those things. You start to expect to receive things all the time. And that's not something that I want my kids to grow up thinking. Like I want them to have things that they like. Obviously, I love that their grandparents love them enough to want to bring them little treats. If there ever comes a point in time that they can't receive those things or they aren't receiving those things, I still want them to, you know, be content with what they have and
appreciative
of it. Right. Yeah. Because, you know, I mean, you've seen kids that when they have like a million toys, they're not like appreciative of those toys always. Like because they just throw them on the floor, and whenever you just throw something on the floor, you don't appreciate it anymore. So I feel like when you have less items, you tend to like take care of those items a little bit more because there's less of it, and you're like, oh well, if this breaks or, you know, gets messed up or something like that, then I don't just have 1,000,001 replacements sitting there to go to.
You to like take care of your items that you do have, and I know I've said this in the past too, it allows you to spend a little more on those items and because you know you're going to take care of them and they're going to last.
Right. Purchasing things from like these certain websites that were extremely cheap and just buying in excess.
Yeah.
I've been convicted of it, and I've thought, you know what, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm trying to not purchase as many things anyways. So since I'm purchasing less, you know, take that extra money that I would have spent on purchasing multiple items, and instead I want to try and find an item now that I can source where it's made at and still spend the same amount of money that I would have in the past, but I'm just, you know, shifting around where I'm spending it at, I guess.
It's easy to just be like out of sight, out of mind. Like we don't really see those things being made. We just see that it's cheap,
the end
and
product,
so you're like, ooh, this is cheap, I'm gonna buy it.
Right. When you kind of stop and think about it, the reason those items are probably really cheap is, you know, maybe the way that they're being made isn't right. I don't know what other word to use for it.
You don't want to spend excessively for your family, put yourself in a tight spot, but at the same time you want to be like morally aware of where your things are coming from, if possible.
Right.
No one's perfect. We're not saying that we are or will ever be, but it's just saying that having less things and bringing less things into your home allows you that mindset, allows you to really think about all the aspects of the stuff coming in, not just like how much, but like where is this made? Like, is this does the way it's made align with my morals? There will ultimately be times when you're like, I don't have $100 to spend on a pair of shoes, you know?
Right.
Maybe it's like a quick, hey, we have to have a pair of brown shoes by tomorrow, or, you know, and that's fine.
Right. And that's not to say too that there aren't cheaper items that are ethically made.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there very well could be. And also some people just don't have like the mental space to stop and like research all sorts of items.
Really not all the like pros of being a minimalist or having less things. I wouldn't call myself a minimalist.
No, we're minimalist in the making.
And yeah. And I don't know that I'll ever be true. I don't even know what you consider a true minimalist.
The minimalist definition varies from person to person, but for me, it's just really going through my house and getting rid of the things that I don't love. I don't want to hold on to things anymore just because maybe I'll use them one day, or maybe I like them a little bit, or things like that. Like, I want to be very intentional about the things that I keep in my home. I want to make sure that it's things that we're using, that we love, that benefit our family. To me, that's minimalism. It's not having any decorations on the wall. Like, if you like decorations on the wall, then have your decorations on the wall. Like, that's your version of minimalism. Yeah. But like we said, we're not, you know, if a hardcore minimalist is watching this, y'all are thinking that we're crazy. But we are in the process. You know, we're learning as we go. Also, if you have already subscribed to our channel, we really appreciate it. And if you haven't yet, we would love for you to do that. And we'll see y'all again next week. Look at her. She's like, what?